Vipassana is a technique which consists of sitting down, closing your eyes, and observing your breathing. Breathing must be natural, and you simply have to observe it. That is it. You do not have to do anything else. You will sit and watch your breath with your eyes closed. It is possible that by practicing Vipassana, you will feel very sexual. When you sit down to observe the breath, all of your energy is directed inward. The breath goes deep, as never happened, and this stimulates the sexual center, which each breath, the sex center, is stimulated. As long as the sexual energy produced cannot rise upwards, you will feel sexual. It will take some time for the energy to change its usual direction. Sexual energy moves downwards. This means that it affects our behavior by making it mechanical, unconscious. It will take a lot of spiritual practice before the energy changes its direction and begins to rise upward. When you are sitting to meditate, there is no dispersion of energy because you are very quiet and therefore there is no dispersion of energy. When you just sit doing nothing, you become a calm pond of energy, and that pond gets wider and deeper and deeper. It almost reaches the point of overflowing, and in that moment you feel yourself overflowing with sexuality. You feel a new sensitivity, as if all the senses were more alive than usual. Your pure sensitivity, as if you were a child again. You will feel so charged with sexual energy that it will be difficult not to feel the need to get rid of it. For this reason, those who practice Vipassana for centuries, especially Buddhist monks, do not eat much. They are satisfied with just one meal a day. This is because they cannot get rid of the sexual energy. The monks are celibate, so by eating less, they will produce less sexual energy. The first chakra, Muladhara, draws its energy from food. This is why kissing another person stimulates us sexually. The first chakra is connected with the mouth, which is the place where food enters. This is why eating less will produce less sexual energy. Buddhist monks eat little so as not to be disturbed too much by sexual energy. In all religions, fasting is seen as something very spiritual for this reason. Eating less is just a trick, nothing more. A meditator should not eat little so that sexual energy does not disturb him. A meditator does not eat little and does not eat too much. He must eat the right amount of food, balanced according to the activities he carries out during the day. There is no doubt that until the sexual energy changes direction and begins to flow upwards, this will be a problem. The best way to cope with this problem is sex. You can sit down for an hour practicing Vipassana, and when you are done, you can have sex. Or, before practicing Vipassana, you can have sex, but sex has to be done observing, meditating. Even during sex, you must observe your breathing. You will continue to forget about it, but it is not a problem. Every time you remember it, go back to observe the breath. Try to become aware of your own breath and that of your partner. Observing your own breathing during sexual intercourse and especially during orgasm is the hardest thing to do. Once you are able to observe breathing during orgasm, there will be no action that you will not be able to observe. Remaining an unidentified witness during orgasm is the hardest thing to do. Hence, the birth of Tantra, which uses erotism as a way to achieve enlightenment. The speaker will talk about Tantra in another video. The speaker advises you to resolve any sexual problem you have before practice Vipassana. If by any chance you are a person whose sexuality is repressed, find a way to get rid of this repression. If you are a person who indulges in sex, even this is not good. You are losing too much energy. Sex, like anything else, needs to be balanced. If you are impotent or have any other sexual organ problem, seek medical help before starting Vipassana. Sexuality is one of the main things in the practice of Vipassana. First of all, because sexual energy is the only energy we have. There is no other. It is enough to observe nature to understand that everything revolves around sexuality. Birds sing to look for a mate. Fire light up at night to find a mate. Animals have a lot of different sounds and behaviors to attract females, etc. Secondly, the sex center is located in the brain, so this has a major influence on the thought process. If you are a sexually repressed person, meditating becomes very difficult. Repression makes you unaware. If you are sexually repressed, your breathing will not be natural. The breathing will be very shallow. Your unconscious will control the thought process and you will not be conscious enough to keep your attention on the breath. You will find the most unaware people in monasteries and societies where sexuality is completely repressed. If, when you practice Vipassana, you sit on the ground with your legs crossed and with your hands together, it helps a lot to conserve energy. The lotus position used by Buddhists for sitting allows all the extremities of the body to meet. Foot with foot, hand with hand. These are the points from where the energy flows and exits to the outside, because the energy needs a pointed hand to escape. This is why the man's sexual organ is pointed, because he has to disperse a lot of energy. No energy is released outside the head. Nature has given it a round shape, so that the brain never disperses energy. It preserves it, because the brain is the central organizational structure. It is the most important structure of the whole body. It must be protected, and is protected by a rounded skull. Energy cannot escape from a rounded element. This is why all the planets, the Earth, the Sun, the stars are round. Otherwise, the energy would be gasted and the planet would die. When you sit down to practice Vipassana, assume a rounded position. Let your hands touch. So if one hand releases energy, it immediately passes into the other. Your feet touch and your position becomes almost a cycle. Energy flows within you. It does not flow outside. By conserving it, over time, you become a well of energy. A little at a time, you will feel a feeling of fullness in the belly. You may have an empty stomach, perhaps you have not eaten, however, you feel a sense of fullness, and finally, you feel an explosion of sensuality. But it is a good sign, a very good sign. So enjoy it. To be continued. Thank you for listening.